You know, it was 4 years ago when Riley and I came out here and said you could do this too. Time really flies. And if you want to start a garden, this is how you do it. Let's take a look at our journey. And Ruth's method, she just stood there and dropped them. I'm gonna be a little more precise than that. The potatoes are saying they're ready to go. I'll put a couple potatoes side by side. Mark your rows. Cover them up, you're done. Ruth Stout, which I've talked about before, she just used hay. Fall leaves, you just use leaves. Back to Eden, you just use wood chips. We'll see what we get. We'll follow these and everything else that I plant throughout the year. I hope you keep joining me. I've seen a lot of videos where they put something in, a few months later, they might show you the same thing. I'd like to show you planting through harvest. Normally, the mulch is about 4 inches to stop any weeds from growing. As you can see with the double passes and as much material as I'm throwing out, I've got it quite a bit deeper. I've got a couple different varieties. We're going to plant them pretty thick. We can go back through and thin them. Obviously you go by feel, but you really don't want to put too much down at all. Just a little bit to wet the top. We've got a winner! Well, we've gone to the tape, and we've consulted with Riley, and we've got a 3-way tie. Bok choy, watermelon radishes, and red radishes. Yes, I got excited. I always get excited when the first thing comes up. And especially now that I'm telling the world how I do things, one of the biggest fears is nothing would grow. We're using the trellis as part of the fence. The rest of the fence will be part of the trellis. We had to put up a fence because the critters found the garden. Pretty simple. We still have all of those that look like they're still going pretty good. We're not going to pick any more of those. This, we've got a purple bean. We've got a purple bean. That is awesome. I didn't get them all. Welcome to Bugs and Slugs 4, the attack of the blister beetles. Guarantee it'll make you want to say a dirty word. There's nothing like the sun going down, June 1st, and being called out by your wife saying something is eating the garden. Then finding an army of blister beetles going through what you were about to harvest. I didn't get them all, but they did a number. Bugs and Slugs. That's about as far as that one's going in. There you have it. Ground wire's as deep as they're going to go. And then connected it back to the controller. The hot wire, we connected straight from the controller to the top wire, which makes a full circuit. We have 2 handles. I don't think this charger's work. Oh, yeah, it's working. It's working. Just another Oklahoma rainstorm. Little hail in it. Actually, it's a regenerative garden. I don't know if that's what I set out to do, but that's what we've got here. And you can do this too. Let's take a look at a few things you can do at your house to create a regenerative, sustainable, weed-free, deep mulch garden. Now, we stumbled upon no-till simply because we didn't want to weed anymore. And by putting down a nice layer of deep mulch, not only did I create a virtually weed-free garden, it's sustainable and it's regenerating. You can do this too. The first thing you can do to create a sustainable, regenerating garden is get rid of the chemicals. Number 2, you want to keep the soil covered. You just keep the ground covered in a deep mulch. See, and this one still has its first leaf and it's still hanging. I think we still have a couple days. I've gotten a couple complaints that I've been picking my tomatoes just a little green. But if you remember 5 things to a successful tomato garden, pick them just a little green and let them ripen in the house. Honestly, I think they taste exactly the same. I think the weatherman got it right. Wet snow's kind of heavy. You say, let's take a peek and see how the coal frame held up. And look at that. And then I gathered material and we went ahead and built a greenhouse. The roof is on, and it's sheeted, and it's buttoned up. You guys can do this too. The deep mulch seems to be the trick. This is awesome. Get the rest of these vines out of the way. Serious, we're picking potato. Oh no. That's a bowling ball. You can do this too. Got a big push, sweet potatoes to plant. Let's get right to it. For all of those that are new to the channel, this is deep mulch, and what we do, pull the mulch back, get down to soil, move the worms out of the way, talk just a little bit about tomatoes and what you really have to do if you're going to trellis them. I got them planted very close together. We've had a lot of rain recently, but now we've had a lot of heat, and they're growing like mad. So come on, I've got them about half strung up and about half pruned out. Let's take a close look at pruning. You can tell how fast your tomatoes are growing by the number of wraps. Now that's a nice sized cabbage. Look how far away from the main plant. That's at least. I'm sure glad you showed up today. Just right under the surface. Oh, look at it. Yeah, no, that one's okay. I wasn't gonna get into them, but you know, I almost fell down. I had to. Yeah, sweet potatoes are an awesome vegetable, very easy to grow in the deep mulch. You know, we only got into 3 or 4 hills. They can't all be 9-pound potatoes, but you can sure have a whole bunch of 2- and 3-pound potatoes. I do want to thank you for stopping by the garden, seeing how the coal frames worked after a hard freeze. The whole point behind this is to extend the growing season. You can do this too. With this preparation, we're going to have fresh greens for Christmas. Hi, welcome back to the garden. Today is Saturday, March 25th, and you know what that means. We're going to do a quick review of this garden, then we're going to go to you and celebrate what's going on in your garden. The thornless blackberries are breaking pretty nice. If I don't get these tied up now, they're going to get out of hand. Today we're going to talk about tomatoes. So come on, let's plant. The way we've got this trellis set up, our goal is to plant the tomatoes in a straight line. That way when we hang our string down, we'll be able to trellis them straight up and they're not going to be leaning one way or the other. Hi, welcome to the garden. Let me ask you a question. Would you like to grow 4 times as much food for half the work or less? Of course, we all would. Now, if you're going to make a small change, you got to change the way you do things. And if you want to make a big change, you need to change the way you see things. In the beginning, there was no life, it was just rock. And we've talked about what dirt is: sand, silts, clay, just different sizes of rocks. And the more fungus gets into your soil, the more ammonias are created, the better balance you have, the better your crops are going to do. Your regular crops, your potatoes, your tomatoes, everything that we normally grow as gardeners. Hi, welcome to the garden. It is Saturday, June 24th, and you know what that means. We're going to do a quick review of this garden, then we're going to go to you and celebrate what's going on in your garden. But that is a club. Well, even through the trials and tribulations of the garden, turning into deep summer, thunderstorms when you weren't expecting it, the chance of your tomatoes splitting, vine borers in your squash, all in all, it's been a pretty good year so far. You can do this too. It's gonna be ready. Look how big that thing is. That looks like 38 pounds. If it's not ripe, oh well, I got another one down in there just as big. It's the biggest thing I've ever grown. See, and they said Grandpa used to just hit it, but I don't want to do that either. Let's go ahead and cut it the short way. See what we got. You gotta be kidding me. Hi, welcome to the garden. Riley and I wanted to talk to you for a second. We've had some very interesting questions lately. We had a hard freeze. Riley and I want to thank you for stopping by and celebrating our 4th year in the garden. This is going to be our 6th summer. We're expecting a bumper harvest. Riley seems like he wants to take a walk, so we're going to go do that. Till next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.